Hi there, students. Above the law. Somebody thinks they're above the law. If this happens, you're criticising them because they think that they are so clever or so important that they do not need to obey the law. So this actually probably begs the question, does a king need to obey the law? Well, a couple of thousand years ago, a king could do anything they wanted. And in some countries, a king still can. So maybe, yes, maybe a king is above the law. But nowadays, we use this phrase that nobody is above the law. Unfortunately, it's probably not true, and there are some people who are above the law who can give themselves a presidential pardon or something like that. One member of the opposition accused the government of wanting to be above the law. I think there are various officials who consider themselves to be above the law. So if you're above the law, you are too important to obey the law. You're not required to obey the law. The guilty verdict in Trump's trial shows that no one is above the law. Juries convict criminals, and nobody should be above the law. Although some people are given immunity. The teacher was arrested for shoplifting. It's sad, but nobody is above the law. I think there are far too many public officials think that they are above the law. Do you think you're above the law because you are the managing director of a company? So no one, not even a president, is above the law. So some people say that the tenet, no one is above the law, is more than a mere platitude. But I'm not convinced. I think some people are above the law. And this phrase, to be above the law, if you've got a friend who's the president of the country, maybe this could put you in a position where you are above the law. I think many ministers regard themselves as being above the law. Being above the law, this is really a difficult situation, because if you've got friends who can say that you are innocent, or to give you immunity, because this is what this is talking about, it give you legal immunity, then you are immune from legal liability because you have a special status. There are laws about amnesties, and this is above the law. But let's see, is a Roman emperor above the law? Absolutely. But an ordinary person like you and me, if you think you're above the law, you're not. The only way round it is not to get caught. Okay, so to be above the law, not required to follow the current laws, the current rules, the current standards. Many computer hackers act as though they are above the law when they steal data. The county council thought they were above the law when they stole money from taxpayers. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You shouldn't be above the law. So none of us is above the law, or at least the legal system likes to believe that nobody is above the law and that we have to obey all of them. But I think with this phrase, sadly, it depends who you are. So you're in a position where you can avoid being bound by the laws that govern the govern the country. Yeah, you are not regulated by the law. You do what you do, unfortunately, what you want. So you're not subject to the law, not required to obey the law, not required to adhere to the law, beyond the law. So above the law, formality. No one's above the law. I think I'm going to give it a 5.5 in formality. Use anywhere, but it's probably best in somewhere semi-formal. So above the law.